Welcome to Sew Very Easy. My name is Laura, and quillows have been around a long time. And what is a quillow? A quillow is a quilt that when it's folded, it folds into a pillowcase. So you have a quilt inside a pillow until you're needing the quilt. They're great gifts to receive, and they are a lot of fun to make. However, you don't always have to make it with a quilt. And I'm going to spruce it up a little bit, and I'm going to use some fleece. Now you can do this with any piece of fleece. It can be a fleece blanket that you have bought, or perhaps a fleece blanket that you have a favorite at home and you just want to be able to store it. So this is a great way to use a fleece blanket. So what I've done is I've purchased a piece of fleece, and this is just a lightweight fleece. And what's nice with fleece? The edges don't fray, so you don't have to finish the edges. And I've bought this very cute coordinating fabric to go with it, and it's from Timeless Treasures, and it's these little barnyard animals. It really is cute. And I'm going to make more than one, so I know I'm going to be able to use all of this. And I'll put a link in the description. The next thing you're going to need is a tape measure, because you will need to measure the size of the pocket, which will become the pillowcase. And it's very, very easy. The first thing you need to do is actually fold your blanket so that you can figure out what size pillowcase that you need for your quillow. So just take your blanket and fold it like you would normally do. Fold it in half and fold it in half again. Then all you need to do is fold it again, just like you would any time you fold your blanket. So you're going to fold it in half, and then you're going to fold it in half one more time. You're going to have one end that has no fold on it, and that's the side you're going to attach the pillowcase to. But let's establish the size of the pillowcase that you're going to need. Once you have your blanket folded, just take your measurement and measure it. Now mine is 18 inches, and I'm going to add 1 inch. I would recommend adding 1 inch to the measurement at least, because that just gives you room for your seam allowance, and it just doesn't make it so tight. The next measurement, you need the measurement all the way around. So just take your tape measure, slip it underneath, and measure it. And mine comes to 33 inches, and again, I'm going to add 1 inch. So now I've got a 19 by 34 inch pillowcase that I am going to need for this. Now this is not a traditional way of doing it, but it gives it a beautiful finish, and I think you're really going to like it. So what you need now is 2 pieces of fabric to the measurement that's going to match your blanket. So for mine, I am going to need 2 pieces of fabric, 19 by 34. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take the fabric that I have chosen that coordinates with it, and I'm going to sew it all together until I can make a nice piece of 19 by 34 inches, and I'm going to make 2 of them. Now you can use just a solid piece of fabric. You don't have to piece your fabric. I just think this will look kind of cute. So I have my 2 pieces of fabric for the measurement that I needed, and you will use your own measurement. So now you need to put the right sides together, and you're going to sew a 1/4 inch all the way around, leaving a little opening about 5 inches on any side that you want, so that you can turn the fabric right sides out. And then you're going to sew together that little opening. Let's get started. So it has been stitched all the way around, and there's the little opening. And I'm just going to put my hand in and turn this right sides out and give it a nice flat press. So now you need to close this opening. You can just hand stitch it, or you can machine stitch it. Okay, the next thing we need to do is find the center mark. Now mine happens to be a seam, but in order for you to find a center mark, just fold it in half and make a center mark. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your 2 ends and you're going to fold it into the middle. So your 2 edges are just going to butt up against each other. Now just press this. So we have this done. It's pressed. We have right sides all. Do the right side. Now we're going to sew this onto the blanket. So find the edge that is just the straight piece of fabric. And without unfolding it, you will know exactly how this pillowcase is going to fit. And what you're going to do is take the side where you have the opening and turn it so that it's inside. So I have the flat piece with no fold. There's no fold here and no fold here. And I have the little pieces that are open up going to the inside. And you're going to be able to tell which position this is going to go into. If it's a square, it's not going to matter. But if it's a rectangle, you're going to know the long side from the short side. And even though it might not match up at this point, just put a couple of pins to hold it in place until you flip it open. And now you're going to open up the blanket flat and leave the pillow cover here. So now I know exactly what corner it's going to go into, and I can reposition the pillowcase on properly. So you want to straighten out your blanket, and you're going to put this pillow an inch around the border. The reason you're going to put it in as the inch is because this is very soft and you don't want this to rip. So it's better if you put it in just slightly. So pin your pocket onto the back of your fabric. So you will have the folded pieces inside and the flat piece is going to go on the outside. Now you are going to sew from one corner and you're going to sew all the way around to the other corner, and you're going to leave this side open, and this is the side which is closest to the edge. The folded fabric is here and this is the edge you're going to leave open. Pin it, and when you stitch, make sure you stitch through all of the layers. And if you have a walking foot is really nice to use because it helps the fabric not stretch underneath. So you're going to start here and sew all the way around. So I've stitched all the way around the three sides, leaving this side open. And I've caught all of the layers underneath. So now all you're going to do is fold the blanket the way you did the first time. You're going to fold it in half. You're going to fold it in half again. And you're going to want to leave this on the outside. So you will fold it in half and fold it in half again so that this pillow is on the outside. And what you're going to do is you're going to put your hand in this opening, pull the whole quilt into the pillow. You're just going to poke all your corners in and you have your blanket inside. Now you're going to turn it one more time. Because you have these flaps, you're going to take this and you're going to turn it this way on that side. You're going to take this one and you're going to turn it this side. So now you have the blanket completely covered. And you have a little opening here. That's all there is to it. So let's just do a really quick recap. The fabric that I used here was 1.5 yards. And I folded the blanket 4 times and then 4 times in order for me to get the pocket measurement. And now, in order for it to go inside its own little pocket, you are just going to do just like you did before. Fold the blanket once, fold the blanket twice, and you don't have to really be fussy on how it's going to fold because this pocket is very generous. Fold it one more time over and fold it again. And then you're going to have that opening that you had at the top. Put your hand inside and you're just going to take that whole blanket and you're going to pull it right inside. So the blanket is inside. Now to finish it off, you have these 2 flaps and the flaps are going to pull to the back. So just flip the one over, flip the other one over. Now you have a reversible pillow. So The entire blanket is inside a pillowcase. It stays nice and clean, and well, it's easy to cuddle and carry around. And it also keeps the blanket a lot cleaner. This is a great project to use for stadium blankets, Christmas blankets, even a blanket that you might have in the car that you'd like to keep. It's a very quick and easy project. It can be done with any blanket that has already been made. All you have to do is figure out the measurements you have, and well, it's done. I'm going to make a couple of these for gifts because they are really nice and handy to have. They can go on the couch. They can go anywhere. Thank you for joining me today on So Very Easy. Feel free to subscribe, and as always, come on back. Let's see what we're sewing next time in the sewing room. Bye for now.